Welcome back. Back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're enjoying your solar eclipse weekend. If you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So let's get straight to it.
So New York just had a magnitude 4.8 earthquake right before the solar eclipse. Magnitude 4.8 and the solar eclipse is on 4/8/2024. Those are the same numbers. All you have to do is connect the dots. They are telling you what's happening. It wasn't just New York, it was New Jersey and Philadelphia. If you look at the map, you see they are all surrounded by water. I'm not saying it's going to be a flood, but anytime something like this happens that's close to water, is usually a flood. Remember, the Statue of Liberty is in New York. That statue represents liberty, not freedom. We have false freedom. What the solar eclipse is going to do is it's going to give people their freedom back. Those that want their freedom. People keep sitting around saying nothing's going to happen on a solar eclipse. Things are happening before the solar eclipse even get here. If you keep waiting for something to happen on that day that's going to be life changing, you're going to miss all the small changes. Remember, the first step is not greater than the 10th step. You need every step to make things manifest. Things are manifesting all around us. You think this is just an accident? 3 days before the solar eclipse, they go to number 3 again. They always use number 3 when they want to make things happen. Negative, positive, outcome. You don't even have to be spiritually woke. Your third eye don't gotta be vibrating. They are giving you the truth. It's right there on your face. You can't even make this stuff up. A magnitude 4.8 earthquake. The solar eclipse is on 4/8. They must think we children or something. Anytime they speak about earthquakes, they are speaking about vibrations. Remember, you have to have a certain vibration and a certain frequency to understand what's going on. Before these people start creating storms and messing with the weather, earthquakes always meant labor from the mother. Anytime there's a major earthquake going on, it's letting you know that the mother or the planet is in labor pains. She's about to give birth to something new. We are going into a new planet. But if these people can trick you and trap you here, you're going to miss all the signs. Just connect the dots, my people. 4.8 earthquake. The solar eclipse is on 4/8. This shit is so easy now.
That's crazy. You know, as easy as that was, I didn't catch that. You know? But yeah, 4.8 magnitude earthquake. The eclipse is on 4/8, as you would write it. Another coincidence.
I'm for everything. Bro, what the fuck?
Y'all be the same way. Don't move. Crazy.
Is this an earthquake? Yo, is this an earthquake? Yo, what the fuck? Yo, am I in an earthquake? Yo, my house is shaking.
Yo, that's crazy. When you gotta ask if you're in an earthquake, you know it's bad. You can tell he never experienced something like that before. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.
I'm sorry, but the New York earthquake is about to get a lot bigger. And just real quick, we'll go over some things you probably have heard already, and then we'll go over the scary things you haven't heard. Yesterday, I just shared how lightning hit the hand of Apollo, Statue of Liberty. And I mean the hand, the torch. So then we had this 4.8 earthquake. Well, the eclipse is 4/8. And 2 hours later, Brazil had a 4.8 earthquake. Of course, 4.8. Before we go any further, it's all speculation, this is all alleged, it's all my opinion. I also just showed you last week this trail of earthquakes going up the eclipse route. Well, where the eclipse hit was called White House Station. And our earthquake map is off the charts right now. I just showed you in this video that in the last 3 days, Japan and Taiwan both had big earthquakes. Now this right here is the scary part to me. This made me reevaluate and relook into the earthquake map. The central mid-Atlantic ridge has had about 10 earthquakes in the last 3 or 4 days. Why does that matter? There have been thousands and thousands of people that had a dream that all of the east coast of New York were underwater. This light blue line is the mid-Atlantic ridge. Now with really big earthquakes, you usually have smaller earthquakes that lead up to them. What would happen if there's a major plate shift in the mid-Atlantic ridge? Maybe things going underwater? I mean, we've literally had like 50,000 earthquakes over the last month. I forget the exact number. And the Earth's frequency has been off the charts. Not to mention 5 incredibly strong storm paths going right along that line I showed you. Now let me take you back to 1811, which was when they had a total solar eclipse, and then 3 months later, for 4 months straight, they had massive earthquakes all around America. But the widely available illustrations we have of this 1811-1812 earthquake literally show things coming from the sky. That's weird. If you haven't by now, you'll eventually find that everything works in perfect patterns, numbers, letters, frequencies, things happening in the atmosphere. This map is really starting to look plausible, isn't it? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I would say that's a big coincidence. The earthquakes hitting every spot in the path for the eclipse. That's pretty mind-boggling, if you ask me. No, I'm happy that earthquake wasn't that bad. Shout outs to New York. Let me know in the comments down below if you was affected by these tremors. Yo, you know it was strong if the Empire State Building was moving. Man, luckily it was only a 4.8.
Part in the New York City area. Make it stop. Well, make this stop too. I don't know how to do that. Everything. The watch.
Oh my gosh. Jeez, how many things do you open?
Man, I didn't know it was caught on live TV. People saying it was an hour and a half after the initial shock. I don't know if this is true or not. Let me know in the comments down below.
This solar eclipse theory just got a lot deeper, and it has to do with these cities. So as you probably know, we're having a solar eclipse on April 8th. So what everyone has been talking about is this picture right here, which is the past and upcoming solar eclipse patterns, and this picture right here. So this is in Revelation, and it says, I'm the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. The Aleph and the Tav, and the beginning and the end. And the Bible also mentions days of darkness in the end time prophecies. But all this got a lot deeper with one Bible verse. Matthew chapter 12 verse 39 reads, He answered, a wicked and adulterous generation, much like ours currently, asked for a sign, but none will be given except the sign of the prophet of Jonah. So what sign could Jesus be trying to give? Now this is where it gets crazy. So this right here is the path the solar eclipse is taking. It will be passing several cities known as Nineveh. So what does that have to do with the sign of Jonah? So Jesus told Jonah to go to Nineveh, and he denied him. But he couldn't deny God's plan and still ended up in Nineveh. Now this is where it's crazy. This solar eclipse pattern will be passing 6 cities known as Nineveh. Begins with the city of Jonah. And not only that, halfway through, there's a city known as Rapture. And not far from that is a town called Williamstown, Kentucky, which holds the Ark replica. Now the goal is not to fear you guys into following Christ, because no man knows the day Jesus will be returning. But he did say he would give signs, so it's important to get right with God before it's too late.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of cities. I know there was a city called Rapture, right? And what about that town where the Ark is built? Now, that's a lucky coincidence if you ask me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
6 days until the Great American Eclipse, and this is what you don't know about 3 days of darkness. The solar eclipse on April 8th has stirred interest and concern related to biblical prophecy. It will be a total eclipse visible across the U.S., which won't happen again for 20 years. And it is not just any eclipse like the ones we have seen before, as it will be on the same day as the 3 days of darkness in Egypt. During an eclipse, the moon blocks the sun temporarily. But beyond its visual spectacle, people see connections to warnings in Scripture about signs from God. In the biblical scriptures, astronomical phenomena are alluded to as warning signs, as the Bible tells us in Joel 2 verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and dreadful day of the Lord comes. A past eclipse on August 24, 2017, went through 7 cities named Salem. Another eclipse will cross America with a similar pattern over 7 cities called Nineveh, as in the book of Jonah. The word Salem, according to the Bible, is peace. So God is said to have offered peace 7 times through these signs. This next eclipse crosses Nineveh cities and makes a perfect cross on the center of the nation. Right in the center of the cross is a city called Rapture. What is God's message? He's coming very, very soon.
Let's move on to the April 8th, 2024 eclipse, which is the twin sister of the 2017 eclipse. Never before has an eclipse crossed over the entire contiguous United States of America and then 7 years later do it again in the opposite direction, forming an X across the middle. This eclipse is part of Saros 139, which has, get this, 71 total eclipses spanning almost 1,000 years. It's interesting to note that the only 2 words that show up 71 times in the Bible are Elijah and Hebron. Elijah being the greatest prophet that ever lived, and Hebron being the burial place of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all their wives except for Rachel. Just like Elijah shows up 71 times in Scripture, so does this eclipse. And out of the 71 eclipses, the 24 eclipse just so happens to be the 30th one, connecting it to the very prophetic number in Scripture and the age of Yeshua when he started his ministry. While the eclipse of 2017 would highlight 7 cities named Salem and find its place of maximum totality over an area known as Little Egypt in southern Illinois, the 2024 eclipse would up the ante significantly by going through another 26 cities named Salem, meaning that the 2 total solar eclipses would pass over exactly 33 of the 36 cities named Salem. Another highly prophetic number pointing to the Messiah who was crucified at age 33. Why not all 36? I believe he personally left 3 outside of the darkness because there were 3 years that Yeshua was in Salem, Jerusalem, and it was not in darkness while he was there. So we have an eclipse representing the start of his ministry, one for the end of his ministry, and the remaining 3 Salems representing how many years the light of Yeshua was actually in Jerusalem. Wow. It's also incredible to learn that there are only 7 cities in the entire United States with the name Nineveh, and the 2024 eclipse passes directly over 2 of them, while 4 more are barely outside the area of totality. Nineveh, of course, was the city that Jonah was sent to warn them of their impending doom if they did not repent. There are only 2 cities in the whole U.S. named Jonah, and the 2024 eclipse passes right over the top of one of them in Texas. Could this be a hidden warning for the American modern-day Nineveh to repent from its current trajectory or face the same judgment of God? I believe it is, and the 4 that are just outside of the total darkness could be symbolic that there is still a chance for us to repent. While the 2017 eclipse hit its maximum totality in a place called Little Egypt, the actual epicenter finds itself right next to 2 lakes called Devil's Kitchen and Egypt Lake. And against all mathematical possibilities, the 2024 eclipse crosses the 2017 eclipse in precisely the exact place in southern Illinois, with the epicenter, the X marks the spot, being over one single road in the middle of a national forest just a few miles west of Devil's Kitchen. And what is the name of that road, you ask? None other than Salem Road. Incredible. Out of the millions of roads it could have pointed to, it pointed to Salem Road, the ancient name for Jerusalem. While all the attention has been on the 2 solar eclipses that intersect in the middle of the United States, there was another annular solar eclipse that also crossed the lower southwest of the United States in October of 2023, which just so happened to mark the very first week of the war in Israel against Hamas. When the 2023 eclipse is laid over the other two eclipses from 2017 and 24, something stunning shows up. While most of us wouldn't really connect that shape to anything, an ancient Israelite would have immediately recognized it as the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph. And although it's clear that the 2017 and 24 eclipses make an X over America, King David would have said it was the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet, the letter Tav. This is more than incredible, as the ancient meaning of Aleph is strength of the leader, and the meaning of Tav, the last letter, literally means the mark or covenant. When you put the Aleph and the Tav together, it literally means the leader of the covenant or the strength of the mark. With Yeshua being called the Alpha and Omega, the Aleph and Tav, God is literally signing his son's name across the entire United States, letting us know that the leader of the covenant is coming, that he is the king of Salem, Jerusalem. He's the Aleph Tav judge, the strength of the mark that will soon be on the forehead of his saints, and he's warning America that our light will go dark if we do not turn from our wicked ways. So why do I believe it's a warning? Not only does the Bible connect eclipses to judgment and end times events, but just take a look at what happened in history when these type of solar events happen. When I did a short research of past total solar eclipses that only went through American soil, I was shocked to discover that according to almanac.com, there were only 8 total solar eclipses that have happened over the United States since the founding in 1776. And incredibly, all of these are connected to war and pestilence. During the 1700s, there was the Revolutionary War. In the 1800s, that was the time of the Civil War. And during the 1970s, we had the Vietnam War. There is a consistent pattern for thousands of years of total eclipses bringing war and very bad omens. One of the last times these two eclipses formed an X over the United States was in 1806 and 1811. 3 months after the second eclipse, on December 16, 1811, was the largest earthquake in the history of the mainland United States, causing the Mississippi River to flow backwards, and was so powerful it rang the Liberty Bell over 1,300 miles away on the East Coast. Coincidentally, 6 months later, the infamous War of 1812 began. Scientists say that if the same earthquake would happen today, it would send a giant earth wave 200 miles in every direction, leveling every building along its path.
That was Jim Staley discussing the prophetic significance of the April 8th solar eclipse. And it was filled with research and his story. Very interesting.
Look at this shit, bro. Ain't no way in hell you gonna tell me this ain't something approaching. Like, that's crazy. Bro, look, bro. AZ is sacred land, bro. I keep telling niggas, man. I mean, may those with eyes see, man.
Them clouds definitely look like a storm is coming. I heard the man say AZ is sacred land. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
The U.S. is currently on high alert and actively preparing for a significant attack by Iran that could come as soon as within the next week. This attack would be in response to the Israeli airstrike this week in Damascus that killed multiple top commanders in Iran. U.S. and Israeli officials are saying that this attack by Iran is basically inevitable and that the two governments have been working together furiously to prepare for such a scenario, though even as of Friday, officials are not entirely clear on exactly when and how Iran would carry out this attack. We're also told that after that Damascus airstrike by the Israelis that took out those Iranian officials, Iran actually sent a message to the U.S. blaming the U.S. for that attack, and that the U.S.'s response was to say that the U.S. had no involvement in the attack, didn't know about the attack ahead of time, and that the U.S. also warned Iran against coming after U.S. personnel and U.S. assets, an exchange that certainly highlights how volatile this current situation is. MJ Lee, CNN, at the White House.
I don't know if you've been able to hear about this yet, but they just issued a warning to literally anybody that owns a pet during the solar eclipse, and that's obviously just a couple days away. So this warning was issued to anyone with a pet ahead of the solar eclipse later this month in a couple days. So obviously, like I just said, experts are now warning that pet owners need to take note of some important precautions. They're saying that there's not many reports and not that many scientific studies on animal behavior during eclipses. They're saying that the most likely response is that animals will start their evening routines and show evening behavior, so like going to bed thinking it's nighttime. And they say that if you have a dog or cat, they might go to bed, get quieter, or start yawning and stretching. Okay. They're also noting that some dogs, depending on the breed, obviously might start howling at the time of the eclipse thinking it's a full moon or something. So obviously, while all of that is not concerning, pets could begin to show some signs of anxiety, just like when there's a thunderstorm or during fireworks. So obviously they're just trying to get you to look out for your animals if they do get anxiety. So if you do have a pet, they're saying to look out for increased panting, scratching, hiding, or pacing, so signs of anxiety. And if you do need a fresh reminder, the eclipse is going to happen on April the 8th, so it's just a couple days away. I give you these roundups every day, so make sure you add me and come back to me tomorrow.
The eclipse is like 3 minutes. I feel like dogs feel like all day is bedtime, if you ask me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Okay, folks, I've been to CERN. CERN is very, very weird. I was actually there a couple of years ago when Russ Dizdar was still alive, well before COVID. So we're there at CERN, and we're being taken by a docent who's like basically just parroting what he's been told to say. So we're in this place where the statue of Shiva is the Indian god of death, basically the destroyer. And I look at the docent and I go, what's this doing here? He has no answer for it at all. Basically, here's the bottom line, and this is something that we need to really delve into here. CERN is built on the site of the ancient temple of Apollyon. Tom Horn, who passed away last year, very untimely, wrote about this. So CERN is at this ancient temple. They're going to open up and start using CERN and testing it the day of the eclipse. I mean, what are we looking at here? Is that deliberate? In my opinion, it's absolutely deliberate. Something is going on. Here's what I think is going on. The powers that be, are opening up CERN in coordination with the eclipse to open up a gateway, a portal. And that's what I think these sites really are all about. Now, when you go to the Serpent Mound in Ohio, that doesn't look anything like CERN, but it's ancient, and it's just in Ohio, and it's the longest serpent effigy on the planet. Now, some people will dispute that. That's fine, but it's the one that I go to, and that Serpent Mound the serpent is undulating, and the serpent's mouth is open like this. Guess what? The whole thing is built on the solstices, the equinoxes. They're big into this, and these sites are charged. The site at CERN is charged. The Serpent Mound in Ohio is a charged site. If you want to know more, check out our On the Trail of a Nephilim series, number 3, Secrets of the Supernatural. Thanks so much for watching. I am L.A. Marzulli.
Shout out to L.A. Marzulli. You know, talking about his time at CERN. He's saying it's charged up. And that place in Ohio is a charging site. They couldn't tell him about Shiva and the statue, you know. They gave him the watered down version, even though he already knew. But it's a big coincidence that it's starting up during an eclipse. Like he said, it's based on equinoxes and eclipses. How? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Everybody's got a prediction about what's going to happen April 8th during this eclipse. Some people think the rapture is going to happen. Some people think there's going to be earthquakes. Some people think all hell's going to break loose. Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen on April 8th. There will be a solar eclipse. That's what's going to happen on April 8th. I don't expect much else to happen on April 8th. I don't expect all this craziness that everybody else is talking about. Could be wrong, but what I see happening, and I'm not prophesying this, so y'all don't come back here and talk about Whitley's a false prophet when something happens on April 8th and I said that probably nothing was going to happen. I'm just saying, this is what I'm speculating here, okay? We'll find out if I'm right or not. But what I think is going to happen is an eclipse. That's it. just an eclipse. I know that this eclipse is a sign. It's a call for people to repent. It's a call for people to repent. That's what I expect to happen on April 8th. And hopefully a lot of people answer the call and they start repenting and they start getting closer to God like they're supposed to before what is going to happen happens. So what is going to happen? And I'll tell you what I think, what I believe based on what God has told me, that judgment is coming. I'm gonna make another video about something that God revealed to me that confirms this. But judgment is coming. What exactly does that judgment look like? I don't know. I don't expect to experience that judgment myself. I don't think the rapture's happening. I think we will all be here to witness this judgment. And those that have repented and gotten their life right with God, the judgment's not for them. But for those who refuse to get right with the Lord, they are going to see judgment. And I believe it's going to be severe. And I'm not going to talk about some of the things that I think that judgment consists of in this video. But I will say this, it ain't good. You want no part of it. You want absolutely no part of it. Get right with God today. If you don't know how to do that, I made a video. I'll post it in the description box below. Just tap on it. How to get right with God. I suggest that you do that yesterday. But don't expect much to happen on April 8th other than an eclipse. Why am I talking about this? Because a lot of people are expecting something crazy to happen on April 8th. It is as if a total solar eclipse isn't a crazy enough event in itself. But a lot of people think that something's going to happen, and then when nothing happens on April 8th other than the eclipse, and nothing happens for weeks after that, people are going to be like, oh, God ain't doing nothing. God ain't doing nothing. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm going to keep on living the way that I've been living. I'm going to keep on doing this sinful stuff. I'm going to keep on ignoring God. Everything's all right. And then the judgment comes. That ain't going to be good. Just repent, get right with God. You don't have to worry about any of that. I love you guys. Follow for more content like this.
Shout outs to Whitley Deputy. Hey, all he's expecting that day is an eclipse. A solar eclipse. I'm pretty much with him on that. You know? I think it's going to be a great sight to behold. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Okay, I just found something else insane about the eclipse. How many coincidences do we need? So do you remember a couple days ago when there was those really bad storms, bad tornadoes, all that? Remember this path. See that same path? Listen to what the meteorologist says. This is actually bizarre. Again, he sees weather every day, and this is bizarre to him. And I'm not just saying that. This will be one of the more notable severe storms nights in March in recent memory. In the past hour, over 16,000 individual lightning bolts from western New York to northeast Texas, spanning 1,200 miles. Again, in the same exact path as the eclipse. And here is another glimpse of it in the same exact path. And this storm was so dangerous. And again, it connects at the New Madrid fault line.
The big secret NASA is keeping from the population is we're about to go into a parallel world on a solar eclipse. This old planet, the old system, the old way of doing things is about to go bye-bye. We are going into the new planet. That's why it's so important to do your spiritual work. The new planet is all about spiritual healing, spirituality, spiritual technology, and spiritual awakening. If you're not doing your work, you're going to be left behind on one of these old planets. But NASA can't come out and say it's a parallel world because how many people can actually handle that? It's a real thing out there when the knowledge is so great and profound. When someone hear it, they have a mental breakdown. So the news can't say it's another you. in another world that look just like you, but is a better version of you. If they tell you that, you might lose your mind. Who do you think your higher self is? Who do you think the voice is you hear in your mind? Who do you think is telling you to go left, go right? It's danger over there. When you hear these voices, it is yourself from the parallel world trying to guide you because it wants you to stay alive. 2024 is the house of karma, the house of mirrors. Everything is a reflection. So when this system falls, a new system will be rebuilt. When the old you fall, a new you will be rebuilt. That's why when you do your shadow work, that's one version of you. When you do your light work, that is the higher version of you. We just left the 4-4 portal. This is so important because the month of April represents all 4 elements. There will be a lot of new spiritual awakenings happening in this month, leading up to what? The solar eclipse. You have no choice but to get in contact with yourself. Talk to yourself, try to understand what's really going on. This is why karma exists. Karma is the house of mirrors. We are all reflections of ourselves. When you look into a puddle of water, what do you see? Since you are 75% of water, there has to be a reflection of you inside of your body. This is the same reason why the Matrix always used 1, 0, 1, 0. 1 and 0 is beginning, end. If you flip it backwards, 0, 1 is the same date, the same number. This is all connected to what's happening right now with the 4-4 portal and the solar eclipse. We're going to have 10 dates in April that mirror each other. These are the 10 dates that's going to be a reflection of what's really going on because we're going into a new planet. Only way you can ascend out of this matrix and become your true spiritual self, you have to talk to yourself, listen to yourself. Understand there is a higher you that's trying to help you. At the same time, there's a lower you that's trying to keep you down. Understand we are going into a great shift.
On April 8th, a total solar eclipse will be visible to 31.6 million Americans. Here is how and where to watch it. The path of totality, or the path where a total solar eclipse will be visible, will stretch from the Texas border with Mexico to Maine. That's about 2,500 miles. The path is about 150 miles wide and spans more than a dozen states. If you're not in the path of totality, you will be able to see a partial eclipse in some places on either side of the path. The solar eclipse will start in Mexico and enter Texas around 12:30 p.m. It will travel northeast across the country, with totality hitting Dallas at 1:40, Little Rock at 1:51, Cleveland at 3:13, Buffalo at 3:18, and Caribou, Maine at 3:31. It will leave continental North America at 5:19 p.m. Up to 4 million people are expected to travel to be in the path of totality, meaning cities in the path are expected to be busy. Whether you're watching from home or taking an adventure to see the phenomenon, it's important to use protective eyeglasses. Once the sun is fully covered, it's okay to look at it with your eyes, but parts of the sun will be visible before and after the eclipse reaches its totality, which will last just 4 minutes and 28 seconds. Where will you watch the solar eclipse?
But they saying it's supposed to be cloudy. I wonder if it'll affect the conditions as far as being able to see it. Either way, 4 million people? Yeah, that's a lot. Now I can see why they have emergency crews on deck. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
If you're an Aries, Taurus, Leo, Libra, Gemini, or Scorpio, here's what's coming for you in the month of April, which is going to be the craziest month of 2024. Aries, you are about to experience the last solar eclipse in your sign for the next 10 years. The most life-altering and pivotal month for you, and everything at first could feel a little unsettling, but listen to me when I say that whatever goes down for you this month, Aries, all of these new beginnings is what will set you up for more alignment towards your karmic path. This month will not feel familiar. You're jumping into this whole new realm of energies that you haven't felt or been in before. Your ruler Mars is in Pisces for majority of the month, therefore you could feel a little tired or confused going into April, but your ruler will also be making a conjunction to Saturn on the 10th. This conjunction will get you extremely serious in accomplishing all of your goals, becoming really clear about what you need to do. You might also be getting this mysterious psychic download, and through this sort of awakening, you'll feel the time crunch. I believe that the only ones that could feel inspired during this competitive and somewhat challenging transit is you, because that's when Aries energy thrives the most. And in the end, they always win. Not only that, you have a once-in-a-lifetime transit happening for you when Jupiter and Uranus conjunct in your second house on April 20th, which will ignite a 14-year-long cycle of an overwhelming amount of self-worth, finding your true hidden gifts and talents, and making so much money through this extremely high level of self-confidence. The stars are aligning for you to get there. I kid you not, this month will be the biggest blessing in your life, as it will bring so much new into it, whether it's a new relationship, a new sense of identity, a new business that you're going to be starting, job you'll be a part of. If there is any sign that I'm going to be looking out for the most throughout this month, is Aries, sun, moon, or rising. So you better come back by the end of this month to tell me all of the blessings that have unfolded into your life. Taurus, you are the luckiest sign throughout the month of April. Although you might go into this month and tackle down the eclipse feeling a little more tired, needing a little more rest, having deep realizations about unhealthy patterns in your life. Where are you giving away all of your energy? What needs more balance? There's going to be an aha moment of, oh, maybe I've gone too far, taking a little bit of a break, but by the middle of the month, you're reaching the most creative peak of your life that will possibly get you thinking or coming up with inventing some sort of genius idea that could be worth like millions. Through this massive creative breakthrough, you'll get to a point of truly bringing all of your manifestations to life. Think big, Tauruses. I think regardless of what you do think of, though, the thing that will go down will be something so out of this world that will come into your life and gift you the most insane amount of abundance. You won't even know what to do with it. So do expect some changes, because at the end of the day, you're not acting like your usual self with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Taurus usually likes stability and craves it. It likes the same mundane things. You're currently being called to big changes, breaking free from something. There will be something shaking up your whole world, or maybe it's you that causes the shakeup, so that it can get you to a genuine place of change and freedom and ultimate abundance. Sometimes we have to do things differently to get different results. So shoot your arrow into nothingness with the hopes and faith of it landing right in the middle. That's how lucky you are this month, Taurus. Leos, you are also extremely lucky this month, as this eclipse activates your 9th house of good karma. It could present to you some sort of miracle, something that you've spent months, maybe even years praying for, always hoped for, and it is now time for it to finally come true into fruition. Your prayers are being heard and taken care of immensely by the Creator above, healing your ways of thinking and perceiving this world, and more specifically your life, but on a more constructive level. This month, you're also starting a 2-year-long cycle that helps you take your finances more seriously. You'll be recognizing the true essence and value of money, and then towards the end of the month, I'm so excited to finally be able to announce this, you will experience the utmost abundance when it comes to your career. And because Venus rules your 10th, prepare for money and abundance in all of the pleasurable things life has to offer. And through this abundance, you will arrive at the ultimate level of freedom. There's a sense of closing a door so that something bigger and way better needs to open up for you. So get ready, Leos, as April will be life-changing, but also finally get you to a place of patting yourself on the back and saying the words, I did it. Hard work pays off. Libra, if there was ever a month for you to start something new, put it out there into this world, find this new sense of identity, especially when it comes to your relationships, it is this month for you. You're on fire. You're on a mission this month, and absolutely nothing can stop you, not even a Mercury retrograde. Though I do advise going back, taking a second, check to see if you've missed anything when it does come to your business or work endeavors, just in case. But you, Libras, are starting a 2-year-long cycle that activates your sense of work, daily routine, your habits, your health, and you will be unstoppable in terms of getting it all done. You're also called to be a healer this month, so whatever it is that you're healing your own body or taking care of someone that is sick, but truly paying attention to all the details, because you will be recognized. You'll be juicing up your most creative ideas, and a part of being creative is appreciating all of the little things that make up your art. Aside from all of the success that is about to unfold throughout this month, get ready to also meet somebody that rocks your whole world. This eclipse activates your 7th house for the last time for 10 whole years. There's a sense of changing your relationship status from either married to single or single to newly engaged. Get ready to sign some contracts and truly meshing your soul with another soul. And through this new beginning, you will heal all of your relationship wounds, and you'll recognize and realize that the reason why nothing has ever worked in the past is because of this moment. If you are in a relationship or married, you may realize that your partner's finances might enhance greatly throughout this month. So enjoy the romance while you're also taking care of your health and becoming more organized by figuring out all the things that you need to get done so that you can arrive at your healthiest, most vibrant self. Gemini, huge networking month for you. Being at the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, sort of destined people that help accelerate your career, and those who truly recognize your potential. You're also starting a 2-year-long cycle that will help you get extremely determined and focused like never before when it comes to your career, your status, your reputation. This eclipse will also help heal your social life, any friendship breakups, or if there was a part of you that didn't quite know how to fit in, or if you were bullied in your younger years, this Aries energy will help you tackle down any insecurities that are afraid of being seen by the collective. You're ending this cycle of hiding, and through this breakthrough, you'll realize that the only one in your way is you. In the moment where you do truly decide to show up, not only for yourself, but also your younger self, your inner child, it will all start to feel so whole and peaceful. And just wait, Geminis, because in the end of May, Jupiter enters your sign and will bless you with all of the luck and abundance in the world. Your entire perspective on life will shift. And so throughout the month of April, you'll be in the prepping stages of activating your new self and becoming extremely serious and recognizing all of the little things that you need to do to get there. Scorpio, there is a new beginning with all that has to do with work, your coworkers, your employees, your health, possibly your pets. These are all the main topics that could pop up for you throughout this month. There's also a moment of recognizing that how you do anything is how you do everything. Part of you is becoming really serious and putting your mental and your physical health first, whether it's cutting out some sort of bad habit, sobering up, or starting a new diet. The 6th house is also litigations or accusations from enemies of some sort. This eclipse will help you defeat your opponent. Think of a better time to be a Scorpio, as no one is more strategic in the ways of winning something over. But aside from all of that, you're starting a 2-year-long cycle of taking your hobbies and the things that you like to do for fun extremely serious. And through the sense of, oh, I can make money from this, is where it will all start to feel so very real for you. Something about this month will bring you to a sense of belief for yourself, for your talent, and implementing some of these business skills into your creativity. Towards the end of the month, there could be a massive breakthrough and a sense of freedom when it comes to your relationships or business relationships, or freedom with anything that has to do with the law. Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on April 20th could really shake everything up for you and get you to a place of finally being free for once and for all. Some sort of luck or sudden opportunity from others will come into your life and will present to you a whole new world of business and a whole new world of relationship. Make sure you're following for part 2.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. If you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we're gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Be safe. Enjoy the eclipse.